If you guys want to go that way, go for it.
Okay, let's go for it.
We're not stopping you from marching wherever you want to march. The only thing we're trying to stop is the
Yeah, of course. Yep.
we will send resources with you.
What's better for your resources?
Oh, go that way.
Stay here or go?
Go.
All right, let's do it.
No, we're opening the road to allow them to walk down the road. What are we doing here? What do you have to achieve?
We'll let them walk, let's go.
Just as much right to protest as you do.
This is a win for us. The cops are pushing them back. Good stuff.
On Sunday, the anti-Israel mob organised a special march from the Yarra River all the way to St Kilda Beach. But this wasn't just about geography. The route was symbolic, from the river to the sea, echoing that now infamous genocidal chant calling for the eradication of Israel. And as we've come to expect, a small group of brave Aussies turned up to counter their hate. But this time, they brought a secret weapon, one that helped ensure that police actually upheld their right to stand against the mob.
Good morning, sir. My name's Peter Larvack. I'm a criminal barrister from Sydney, and I've come down here specifically for this event to protect this group from being assaulted, not only by the Palestinian protesters, but also by Victoria Police. Now, this group is going to be peaceful. They're exercising their right to demonstrate peacefully. I've instructed them that they must not break the law, they must not shout at anybody, they must not assault anybody, and they must cooperate with the police. But if the Palestinian protesters break the law and assault them, I would expect you and your police officers to do your jobs properly and to deal with that.
Okay. Well, sorry.
Yeah, Peter Larvack.
Peter. Okay.
L-A-V-A-C,
Okay.
yeah, criminal barrister from Sydney.
All right. So, Peter, at this stage, I'm just going to contact my command
Yeah.
and get some direction.
Sure.
Okay, then I'll come back to you. All
Fine,
right?
terrific,
Bear
mate.
with me.
Yep, no worries.
So why was it important for you to get to Melbourne? You're obviously from Sydney. To get to Melbourne today for that large rally, to join the small group that have been counter-protesting almost each week, often running into trouble. Why was it so important for you to be there today?
Well, mate, it was important. I'd seen video footage of the way the cops were treating these Jewish people who were counter-protesting. I saw video footage of what happened at Starbucks. I saw the cops ignoring criminal activity by these thugs, and they're actually going after the Jews, the soft target. I saw them manhandling, pushing Jews. I saw them pepper spraying one guy in the face when he tried to retrieve his wife's flag, and I was absolutely disgusted by what the cops were doing. When I heard about this rally today, I offered my services. I flew down. I met up with the Lions of Zion this morning. I gave them legal advice on how to conduct themselves today. It's very important that we don't shout at anyone. If people start shouting at abuse at us, you just stare straight ahead. You do not respond. Stick very close together. The closer you stick together, the less chance you've got of being assaulted by anybody. If you're assaulted or struck by anybody, the law does not expect you to turn the other cheek. You have a legal right to defend yourself. You have a legal right to defend your buddy who's next to you. But make sure that if you use force to defend yourself, do not use excessive force. Now let me say this about the police. The police are not your friends. They are on the other side, okay? If the police do arrest you, do not struggle, do not resist, because that will give them the temptation to assault you and beat the shit out of you. Do not give them that excuse. So if you're arrested and detained, do not struggle, do not resist, go peacefully, and most important of all, keep your mouth shut.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes.
We're going to give you an opportunity to protest
Good.
peacefully,
Thank you.
as
Thank
you've
you.
indicated from
Yeah.
here.
Okay. Beautiful.
Any breach of the peace?
Yes.
All right. We'll understand. We'll have provisions to take action then.
Breach of the peace. How do you define breach of the peace?
All right. So obviously, I'm not going to go through every hypothetical.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So you've indicated you want to peacefully protest
Yes.
over here. So if you keep your group over there.
Yes.
We'll be around.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you'll have your opportunity to
Thank you.
protest.
Thank you. And
All
we,
right.
we expect full protection from you and your officers. If they're threatened, if there are death threats, we're going to kill you. I expect you and your police officers to take appropriate action.
We'll deal with things as they
Okay.
occur. Okay?
Well, I saw
All right?
video footage recently.
I'm not interested about
well,
video footage.
I am
All right,
interested.
Peter,
We've got video
I'll
footage
explain to you
today.
what we're going to do.
All right, good,
all right?
good.
I'm not going to go through
Okay.
every hypothetical.
Good,
all right?
good. Well, I've
So-
told you my position, and this is what I expect, okay?
Not a problem, Peter.
Thank you, sir.
We're
Good.
here to work together.
Thank you, sir.
They are not the humans. They call us not the humans, but they are not the humans. When they say what do they say?
Why was it so important for you to get down there? Why does it matter? You're not even Jewish.
Yeah, mate, I'm not even Jewish, but mate, I was disgusted by October 7th, and I've been helping the Jewish community ever since, mate. And the bottom line is, I'm a high-profile criminal barrister, one of the most high-profile in Australia. That gives me a lot of power, but what gives me even more power is the fact that I'm a Gentile. If I was Jewish, nobody would give a damn.
They just
wouldn't
dismiss
listen
you.
to me. They dismiss me as just another Jew who's whinging and moaning and complaining about the thugs. Being a Gentile gives me power in addition to my power as a high-powered criminal lawyer.
And how did it play out today? It looked like police actually upheld the rights of those who wanted to protest, which is something that we haven't seen in the last few weeks.
Mate, I was super happy the way it went today. I read the Cops the Riot Act. They knew I was there. I told them what I expected of them. The police understood that, and they bent over backwards to be helpful. The cops were super polite, super courteous, super protective, and they formed a line, they formed a phalanx around our people to protect them from this baying mob of anti-Semitic thugs and pro-Hamas supporters. Me being there made the difference. Me reading the Cops the Riot Act, telling them exactly what the score is, and telling them what I expected, that I expected them to do their jobs properly, and that's exactly what they did, mate. At one stage we were walking down the street, tailing them, following the mob. A bunch of them blocked the footpath and wouldn't let us pass. There was a standoff between our people and this mob of thugs. The cops then formed a solid line of police, a wall of police, between the thugs and between us. There was a standoff there for about half an hour.
If you guys want to go that way, go for it.
Okay, let's go for
We're
it.
not stopping you from marching wherever you want to march. The only thing we're trying to stop is the...
Yeah, of course. Yep.
So, but
They
I
might come after us.
can't guarantee that we're going to have enough resources if you go too far away. Obviously, AAA will
So
go.
what's better
but-
for you?
No, it's your call. If you want to go that way, we will send resources with you.
What's better for your resources?
I'll go that way.
Stay
yeah.
here or go?
Go.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. All right, thank you. I'll go.
Thanks, mate. Come on, guys. Cops started pushing the thugs back, and they were physically manhandling and shoving bodily some of these thugs to get them out of our way. First time I've seen the cops doing their job properly. Give the police officers their space. They're doing their job very well today. This is a win for us. The cops are pushing them back. Good stuff.
Why do you think it's important for people to stand up and to, I guess, counter-protest the mob? There's, tens of thousands there rallying from what they said, the river to the sea, although they went to the bay. Why was it so important?
Mate, it was important because when Mashni boasted on the screen, Melbourne is ours, Australia is ours, the world is ours, that's like waving a red flag to a bull, mate. And to me, my response was, no way, mate, not on my watch. I will never allow that to happen. And every single Australian in this country will back me up 100% and support me 100% on that. I'm sure of that. And people have to stand up and speak out to let ordinary everyday Australians know what's going on. It's important to stand up and speak out. You fight for your rights, you fight for your country, you do not run away, you do not give way to your fear, because if you do that, you're letting them win. You're handing our country over to them. What we did today was to send a message to these thugs. These public places belong to the public. They don't belong to you. They belong to all Australians. The Jews are just as Australian as you are and everybody else. We have a right to use these public places. You've got no right to hijack these public places. You've got no right to hijack the law. That was the message we were putting across today.
One thing I did notice during our live feed, watching the two groups, there was an obvious difference in the small group of, I would say, brave Jews and Gentiles, people who support the Jewish community and Israel. There were, I could count maybe 10 Australian flags as well as Israeli flags.
Yeah.
On the other side, there was tens of thousands of people, not one, actually there was one single Australian flag that was ripped and desecrated. The rest were Palestinian flags.
Yep. Yep.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that all these idiots, useful idiots who are on their side, they're all waving the Palestinian flag. They're ashamed of the Australian flag. They don't want to use the Australian flag. They've gone over to their side.
So why do you think that the other side does not have not even a single Australian flag? The only Australian flag they have was one that was desecrated and ripped.
Mate, because they hate the Aussie flag. They do not respect our flag. They do not respect our way of life. They do not respect our customs. They do not respect our way of law. They hate Australia. They hate Australians. They hate the Aussie flag. And I saw that clearly demonstrated in a video clip I saw where one of these thugs was screaming death threats at an Aussie who's Vietnamese, who is draped in an Aussie flag. This idiot was screaming death threats towards him. I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you, right in front of the cops. The cops stood there like stuffed dummies again, did absolutely nothing. These people don't just hate Jews, they hate Australians. They hate our way of life. They hate our democratic freedoms.
What's your message to apathetic Australians who think, well, this is not our conflict, keep it out of Australia? For both sides, they just don't want to see any of it.
Well, guys, that's the problem in Australia, mate. Aussies are so apathetic, complacent. They think the problem belongs to the Jews, but they're wrong. This problem affects all Australians. All you have to do, mate, is look at what's happening in England, look what's happening in Europe. England and Europe are down the toilet. They've been overrun by these people because of out-of-control immigration. The same thing is happening here, and Aussies should start to wake up, get off their backsides and start realising that they've got to fight back. They have to fight back.
If you think this kind of honest reporting matters, make sure to like, comment, but most importantly, share it far and wide. And then head over to followavi.com. Sign up to the mailing list and follow me on all the socials from the links that are there, especially on YouTube. And hit that subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss a live broadcast. I'm starting to do heaps of them. That's followavi.com. Everything you need is right there.